Meanwhile, Houston's football team, well, they suffered a tough one. Took the lead late, 58-yarder, the longest in the career of Lutz. Got some help along the way by one of their talented wideouts. Showing why he was handsomely rewarded in the offseason with a new contract, Michael Thomas stops by the show after a 10-catch, 123-yard night. Congratulations on the win, man. I just want to start at the very end because we might as well, right? When Nuke gets deep and then Deshaun hits Stills, how quickly do you go from, damn, we're behind, to, all right, we got number 9 as our quarterback and we got 37 seconds. Let's go win this thing. How quick does that happen?
You know, when you have a great quarterback behind center like that, you trust him. And then it's just situational football. We practice that. Credit to our coaching staff and our great training camp working those situations.
When you say you practice that, I'm fascinated to know about that last play, because as we're watching the game in real time and I'm seeing the clock tick down, I'm thinking, what do they have time to do? And really all you got time to do is get 5 or 6 yards, catch it, and fall down. Like, is that specific play practiced for, Michael?
Yes, sir. Coach, that is just testimony because, you know, you while you're practicing, you're wondering why we keep doing this over and over. Why do we keep doing this over and over? Why do we catch the ball and hand it to the refs right away? Or just different things and down, knowing the situation. We practiced it, and then our moment came and we just responded.
In that building, what distance would you say you guys have confidence that Lutz can bang it through?
I say like 65, 63. He's the best kicker in the NFL. Like, that dude's a pro. And it's just fun being back home and able to get a win.
Well, it was entertaining as hell, that's for sure. A couple of West Coast trips coming up, Rams and Seahawks. Good health to you throughout the year, man. Thanks for sitting down with us, and we'll talk again, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Coming up, what a difference
for our offense to give us the lead with whatever it was, 40 seconds left, and to not win that game. I mean, it's bad football by us on defense, and so we will take 100% of that blame, as we should.
Happy to once again spend some time with my friend Booger McFarland on Monday nights, and what an opener you all got down there in New Orleans. A fantastic game where the lead changes hands twice in the last minute. And Booger, I'm curious about the defense that the Saints played. I don't know how you let Nuke get deep, and I don't know how you get beat over the top. And then I don't know how the Texans allow a pass in 6 seconds to get closer for a field goal when you know that they've only got time to do what they did. What did you think of the defenses of both sides in those last few possessions?
Well, it's amazing. You knew that the Texans were going to target the Saints defense, number 25, Eli Apple, and number 26, P.J. Williams, and they did it all night. And on that critical play, again, they attacked number 26, P.J. Williams, in a man-to-man coverage situation, and Hopkins just burned him. And so, for me, I would have done and played a little zone coverage. On the other side, the Texans, to me, that was just a simple brain fart by Romeo Crennel. He's playing prevent coverage. He's got 3 safeties deep. That's not the coverage you want to play. The Saints only needed 6 or 7 yards. They had 1 timeout. So just bad defense on both sides, but especially by a veteran defensive coordinator, Romeo Crennel, who's been around the game a long time. To make that bad of a call, he cost his team a chance at victory tonight.
I'm with you, and we're hyper-analyzing these plays because that's ultimately where the game was won and lost. But if we push back and look big picture, we just watched the first week of football. I don't think there's any doubt that these 2 teams that were playoff teams a year ago will be again. What was your sense of what you saw from both sides in the game?
Well, I thought it was first game jitters. You know, came out, we expected this New Orleans offense to come out high flying. Their timing was off. Right. It was interesting to me, the adjustments they made in the second half. They stopped calling plays, Scotty, and they called players. And they called number 41, Alvin Kamara. And when they called him, the offense got going. And you saw how explosive the Saints offense can be in the second half. But make no mistake about it. Let me tell you about Deshaun Watson. He has a new left tackle. He's going to be really good. He was so-so tonight. He got sacked 6 times, Scotty. But the warrior in Deshaun Watson came to play. We saw 2 playoff teams battle. A young quarterback and a veteran quarterback. They put on a show here in New Orleans. I think we're going to see both of these teams, both of them, in the AFC playoffs and the NFC playoffs late in January.
I agree entirely. Look, the last time the ball was in Deshaun Watson's hands, he was throwing a touchdown that gave him the lead. There's not much more you can do. Breeze gets it, they kick it, they win it. Really entertaining stuff, man. I look forward to visiting with you throughout the season. All right, Booger, travel safe.
Appreciate it, Scotty. Always good to be with you, buddy.
In the conversation. And I'm curious, I'm going to start just with this. When you visit with the team, you can get a sense of man, we're doing our best. They're trying to project something that's not real. Or, you know what? The world doesn't know what we're prepared to go out and do. What sense did you get? What were the Raiders projecting to you about what they thought they would be tonight?
I think it's more the latter, more along the lines of the latter that you just stated, Scott. They really thought people were sleeping on them. They really thought people thought without AB they couldn't do anything. They didn't have any explosive playmakers. They wouldn't be able to put points up on the board. And Derek Carr assured me, he said, hey, look, I'm playing in an offense right now in my second year that I'm totally comfortable with, that I totally have the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, as far as what I'm able to do at the line of scrimmage, getting us in and out of plays. I know what John really wants to do with this offense. And then when you talk about their weaponry, look, Tyrell Williams is really, he's been running through the AFC West for years. He's a guy who out there in L.A. and in San Diego before that was catching big plays down the field all the time, just like Keenan Allen got all the attention. And I'll tell you this, Josh Jacobs is one of those guys who you saw him at Alabama. You saw the glimpses of the type of power this guy has, the type of stamina he has, the type of competitive character that he has, and he showed it to you tonight. In crunch time, they went to him. In crunch time, they went to Tyrell Williams. And this is the kind of thing that Derek Carr said that they could do. And then on the defensive side of the football, I'll tell you this, the secondary, Ryan Clark will tell you, played lights out. They really did. In those man cover situations when they needed to the most, they really stepped up to the challenge. They held their coverage tight. They helped the pass rush then have more time to work. It was a total complementary type of effort, which is exactly what they said they would put on tape tonight. They said, look, we're more than just AB. And quite honestly, AB was never here. Sure. So we never were depending on him in the first place. We don't even know who he is because he didn't show up. So we're going to play with the guys we have here, and I think you're going to like what you see. Now, you can ask America, did you like what you see? They're not the same old Raiders, I'm just telling you.
Up front, and Ryan, I'm going to get to you in a moment. Up front, I was surprised, and I made this point before we brought you in, Lewis, that we heard so much about Chubb and Miller and how those two guys were going to really be a problem. They didn't touch Carr tonight. How much can this offensive line replicate this performance, not just clearing the way for Jacobs, but keeping Carr's uniform clean?
Yeah, look, that's one of the things that John Gruden told us he wanted to do this offseason was get Derek Carr some protection. So that meant going out and getting Trent Brown, making him the highest paid tackle in the NFL, and just parking him over there on the right side and saying, hey, do your work. It meant getting Colton Miller healthy, getting him bigger, getting him stronger. And he was someone who they talked about as saying, look, he's going to have a tremendous second year. Do not put a whole lot of stock into his first year where he played hurt, and he still needed to grow and develop his strength. So those are two of the main reasons why Bradley and Vaughn were neutralized. On top of it, Derek was getting the ball out of his hands fast. They were multiple and diverse on offense in terms of run-pass mix. John called a brilliant game. So I was saying during the broadcast, Vic Fangio was sitting there going, Vic talked about getting inside of offensive coordinators' heads and getting inside of quarterbacks' heads in terms of throwing them off their rhythm. Well, he had the script flipped it on him tonight, and really it was John Gruden who got inside of his head, and Vic didn't really know what was coming at him from play to play, and that's what offensive coordinators want. That's what they try to do. That's what John did tonight, and it was just really it resulted in a heck of a performance against two of the best pass rushers that this game has seen in recent years.
Well, I know you enjoyed your years wearing the silver and black, and it was certainly obvious you guys enjoyed being in the booth tonight. You guys did a hell of a job, and it was fun to listen. Lewis, be well, all right?
You bet. Thank you, my man.
Okay. And Ryan, as just we piggyback the conversation from Lewis, I think we try our best to be reasonable week one, right? Not project too much forward. But based on this performance tonight, will you take more out of what you saw from Oakland or what you didn't from Denver as we look towards the next few weeks?
I'll take more of what I saw from Oakland, but it's not just about the X's and O's and what they did on the field. When you watched them lose Khalil Mack last year, you saw some things in the locker room. They didn't necessarily believe in Gruden. They thought he should have worked harder with Khalil Mack. This whole Antonio Brown situation, it brought this team closer. Yeah. They understood what their coach was going through, what the GM was going through, and they wanted to go out and show people that they can win. And when you see a Tyrell Williams show up, you see some of the young draft picks when you have 3 in the first round, Mike Mayock hit on those guys. Even Colin Farrell, who many thought went too early, showed up tonight and put pressure on the quarterback. They solidified themselves outside. They protected Derek Carr, and they made lanes for Josh Jacobs to run the football. And when you can do all these things week one against a team people thought would beat you, it's a huge stepping stone for this organization.
You go out and get a Cleveland Farrell, you get a Jacobs, you get guys that came from programs that are used to winning, and the young guys injected with the guys that had been there, and I think what you say makes sense, that what they went through together clearly evidenced itself tonight. John Gruden, the man that was there in the middle of all of it, we don't have to listen to him in a taped conversation. He's actually talking to the media now.
Great audibles. He protected the ball. He was inspiring and leading the team on the sidelines. I thought he was really good. I think I'll take credit for that since it worked. Yeah, Derek was involved in a lot of things tonight, and most great quarterbacks are. But he was on top of his game tonight. There really wasn't. I'm just going to tell you, there really wasn't. Maybe for the media, but what happened here the last couple days may have been big news to some, but there were no distractions. I think you could tell that tonight. Our team was ready to roll. No, I'm never going to bring it up again. That incident, whatever you call it, had nothing to do with our team's focus or preparation. That's it. End of story. Sorry. Yeah, it's big, man. I mean, balance was important. We changed speeds a lot. I think their defense is as tough as you'll see all year. I mean, Fangio is unbelievable. We had some long, sustained drives. We were able to finish the drives in the end zone. It's hard to go 90 yards in this league against that type of defense with Miller and Chubb and Chris Harris and Fangio. So it was a good start. We got a short week. We got a real animal coming in here again this short week, so we got to get to work. He's good back. We're really happy. The play that really impressed me was the catch and run that really was a big score to make it 21-6. I think he shows some all-purposeness like we talked about. He can catch it. He obviously can run it. He picked up a couple blitzes, and he's smart, and he's passionate about the game. I give Mayock a lot of credit. I got good word on him that he's going to be okay. Don't know his status for the next game, but most importantly, the kid is all right. That was a scary hit that he took, but all the reports I have are very, very positive.